Hi everyone, welcome back to Tech Booth. Today we are looking at the Holystone 175D drone. The Holystone 175D is not a professional drone. This lies in between a toy drone and a hobby drone. For most professionals, they would classify this as simply a toy drone. So if you are looking to getting into drone piloting, this is a really good drone to start off with as a beginner. It's inexpensive, so you don't have to worry about buying an expensive drone and flying it out for the first time and crashing it. This is a good entry-level drone to drone piloting. The drone has a single axis gimbal on the camera, which means the camera just moves up and down, and the camera has no stabilization. That means the footage that you get from this drone is quite shaky and not stable. So you can't really use this drone for any professional video or photography work. So in the box you get your drone, you get your transmitter, you get 2 drone batteries and also 2 USB chargers for the battery, and then you get spare propellers, and they're labeled A and B. So when you're replacing, you make sure that you replace A with A and B with B, otherwise your drone will not fly. And then you have a USB charging cable for the transmitter, a screwdriver, and your instructions for use. You also get this template that you can use over your transmitter to show you what the joysticks do and all the buttons on the transmitter do. Let's look at the drone details. It's a foldable drone, so you fold it out like this and you get your 4 propellers, of course. On the top you have your power button, and you have lights at the top to indicate the power usage. That's your power indicators. On the front you have your LED lights that show you the front of the drone, and below that you have your camera. This is a single axis camera, so it just moves up and down. It doesn't move side to side, and it doesn't have stabilization. Under the drone you have your optical floor lens and the place where you put in your drone battery. You also have a place to put in your SD card. The drone takes a micro SD card, and make sure you get the fastest card that you can afford, because if you get a slower card, it's not going to be able to record your footage, and it will return an error when you press record on your app. The drone supports cards up to 64 GBs only, so make sure you don't get any cards that are bigger than that. And make sure you get a fast card. When the drone is on and you slide in the SD card, on your app you will get a notification asking you if you want to format the card in the drone. And so you accept that and the drone will format the card. So the transmitter folds out and you get your handles for you to be able to hold onto the drone, and under the handle you get your charging port. On top of the drone you have your left joystick and your right joystick, and the right joystick also acts as your speed switch. You can change the speed of your drone from slow to fast by just pressing in the joystick. You have your power button just below the left joystick, and then next to that you get your 1 key takeoff and landing button. The second button is called the headless mode when you short press it, or you can use it to calibrate the compass when you long press it, and this calibration is necessary before you can use the drone. And then the last button is your return to home, and this gets the drone to come back to where it was last registered to have taken off. At the front of the transmitter you have 4 buttons, one for recording video, another one for taking photos, and then you have the 2 on the right side of the transmitter for moving the lens up and down. You also have your antenna to help you establish a good connection between the drone and the transmitter. The first thing you want to do is to download the app. The app will help you monitor where the drone is going on your phone and do many other functions on the phone. You do this by downloading the app using the QR code that's supplied in the operation manual, or go directly to Google Play or the App Store and download the HS GPS V5 app. Step number 2 is you want to connect to Wi-Fi, and you can connect your smartphone to the Wi-Fi in the same way that you connect to any Wi-Fi network. When you go to select your Wi-Fi network on your smartphone, just select the Holystone Wi-Fi. And once you've connected your smartphone, then you need to now launch the application. Once you launch the application, then the smartphone will connect to your drone. The next step is you want to pair your drone to your transmitter. You then power up both your drone and your transmitter. And for you to pair your transmitter to your drone, all you need to do is to push the left joystick up and then down all the way. And you will hear a little beep and the indicator lights on the drone, and the transmitter will turn solid. The next step in setting up your drone is to calibrate your drone, and you calibrate the compass to begin with. And all you need to do is to long press that middle button, the compass calibration button, and that enters the drone into calibration mode. Once you've entered calibration mode, now you want to hold your drone horizontally and just turn it around about 3-4 times until the lights change from flashing slowly and they start blinking really fast. Once they start flashing like that, it means the horizontal calibration is done. You want to do now the vertical calibration. Hold the drone vertically and rotate it around its vertical axis, and the lights will stop flashing and go to a solid color when the vertical calibration is done. The next step is to allow for the drone to look for GPS, and you need to do this outside in an unobstructed area. When the lights change from red to green, you know that your GPS has been found. If you're using the app, you will see the bar at the top of the app will change to a green color. That means now you are ready. So just a note, the GPS mode is what you use most of the time, and that means you'll be flying your drone outside. There's another mode called the optical flow mode, which we won't talk about here, but that's for flying the drone indoors. The next thing you want to calibrate is your gyro. And all you do is you push the left and right joysticks at the same time to the bottom and left corner of the transmitter. What will happen then is that the indicator lights on the drone will flash quickly and then turn solid. This means that your calibration is now complete. Once calibration is complete, you are ready to fly, but the drone won't fly until you unlock the motors. What you do is you push both joysticks towards the center and to the back of your transmitter. The other method is just push the left joystick up and you'll see the motors will spin up and the drone is now unlocked and ready to fly. The simplest way to get you going as a beginner is to use the one key takeoff and landing. And what that will do when you press that one key is the drone will lift off and hover at about 5 feet. And when you press it again, the drone will land back where it took off. Two things that will help you in case of an emergency. One is the return to home button. The return to home button will help you bring the drone back to its last recorded takeoff point. You have to be really careful though with the return to home because it will not avoid any obstacles. What it will do is the drone will go up to about 65 feet and then start making its way to its landing position, but it won't avoid obstacles. The drone will also activate the return to home button if there is a low battery. If the battery is dying, then the drone will activate return to home and start coming back because of low battery. In case there's an emergency and you need to land the drone immediately, all you need to do is to press and hold the record button and the lens button at the same time, and the drone will just quit and drop out of the sky. And that's it, a quick overview of the HS-175D Holystone drone.